Some of you are single, and you've never given it a second thought. Others of you wonder about it like every waking moment and continually ask, "Why, God, why?" You're the ones I'm talking to today, and hopefully encouraging. Hey, this is Todd. Welcome to the Thrive Singles Podcast. Whether you're single again or still single, stop hating being single and learn to thrive. And welcome back to the Thrive Singles Podcast. Man, it's so good to have y'all here with me today. Back in February 2017, I did a podcast episode specifically to encourage singles who want to get married. This week, I want to encourage both those of you who want to get married and those of you who want to stay single. First, I want to talk about perception. While I was single, I found it incredibly encouraging to realize that I could make my life as a single better by simply changing how I viewed it. There's a reason the ThriveSingles.com homepage starts with, and every podcast I do starts with the words, "Stop hating being single and learn to thrive." There's a reason you hear it said so often that your perception is your reality. Your attitude toward your singleness helps shape the reality of your life as a single person. Hey, this is great news. This means your happiness and your satisfaction with life are not dependent on you changing your situation. It means your well-being doesn't depend on whether you get married or not, or whether you have a date this weekend or not. And here's more good news. You have the freedom and the ability to view your singleness differently. You can change the way you look at and feel about your singleness. Because the one thing you always have control over is your attitude. Not only that, but it's one thing that you alone have control over. No one else can control your attitude, unless you allow them to. So, pop quiz. How do you view your singleness? Do you see it as a cross to bear? A punishment from God? Something to endure until you get married? Do you view it as a failure on your part? Or can you see it as something to make the best of? Or even see it as an opportunity? Yeah, opportunities, possibilities. You know, I listen to a few self-help podcasts. I find them encouraging and helpful. You know, they help me develop and maintain a better attitude and give me good tips on living well. A few months back, one of the self-help gurus I follow asked a very important question. Something happened in his situation that was bad. He asked this question. He asked, "What does this make possible?" So, let me ask you this. What does your singleness make possible? Now, I can see some of the more sarcastic among you right now making out your list. Sleeping alone, getting even less help around the house, getting a second job to make up for the lost second income, not having sex for the foreseeable future. I know, I get that. I've been there. Being single again or single longer than you ever planned does have its downside, no questions. But seriously, what good things does being single make possible? Maybe a fresh start with somebody more compatible, more loving, more faithful. A fresh start with someone who's less demanding, less angry, less expensive. Maybe it allows you to pursue a hobby or a business opportunity that you couldn't before. Maybe it allows you to get involved with a ministry or a civic organization. Maybe it just allows you to live your life unencumbered by the demands and expectations of an unreasonable spouse. For me, yeah, I had to sleep alone for many years. Yes, I had to do all the house cleaning, clothes washing, and cooking. But there was an upside, too. Somehow, it still allowed me more time for an expanded role in music ministry, an opportunity for singles ministry, and more opportunity to explore my creative side. Now, maybe your singleness doesn't give you extra time or any of these obvious advantages, but If you stay positive and keep your eyes open for new possibilities, you will find opportunities. Is there something you want to accomplish before you get married? Something you want to do or create? Something you want to learn about or explore? What does your singleness make possible? Okay, I began this podcast by saying that how you perceive your singleness makes a huge difference in how much you'll thrive. Then I just talked about looking for the good things your singleness could make possible. But both of these things require a shift in your attitude. So how do you develop a more positive attitude about singleness? Let me give you a few suggestions. Instead of dwelling on the downsides of singleness, stay grateful for every little good thing, no matter how small. Be thankful for every little blessing, every little win, every little moment of beauty you experience, no matter how small or how fleeting those might be. Also, spend more time with thriving single people and less time with unhappy, discontented singles. Hanging around too much with negative people will rub off on you and drain you of all your positivity. But hanging around with more people with good attitudes, that'll rub off on you too and help you improve your own attitude. And fill your mind with lots of good stuff, lots of good, positive, hopeful things. Spend a little time every day reading an encouraging book or a blog, or listening to a helpful audiobook or podcast. That helps to counteract all that negativity that bombards you from within and without all day long. Now, one last encouraging thought. Maybe you've been single longer than you thought you would be. Maybe, like me, you find yourself single again later in life. But that doesn't mean you'll be single forever. And it doesn't mean you're unlovable. I've seen many people get married and stay happily married, even though they married late in life or they've lost a spouse through death or divorce. Whether you get married down the line or not, and what kind of marriage you end up having, largely depends on how you view your singleness and what you do with it. Your future is yours to shape and mold into almost anything you can imagine it to be. And in case you're wondering, no, I didn't enjoy every moment of my singleness. I never expected or wanted to be single again in my 40s. That was forced on me by somebody else's decision. I mean, I thought it was the end of the world, especially immediately after my divorce. For me, it was a learning process, but eventually, I did get the hang of it, and that allowed me to be in a good place to remarry years later. So till next week, whether you're single again or have just been single longer than you had hoped, there are things you can do that will help you thrive. Like perception. Learn to see your singleness differently than you have. Possibilities. Look for the good things that your life as a single makes possible. Positivity. Be grateful. Spend less time with negative people, more time with positive people, and read and listen to positive materials every day. Hopefully you'll find these things as encouraging as I did. Till next week, thrive on. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. See you next week. Till then, be sure to subscribe and go check out my extensive archive of past posts at thrivesingles.com. And thrive on.
Whoa, thrive. Yeah, come alive. There's more to life. You gotta grow, you gotta thrive. Whoa, whoa, you gotta thrive. There's more to life than to just survive.